Dear fish keeper, today I have my background from another part of the Amazon during a trip a few years ago. You see the beautiful clouds, the beautiful water, a beautiful area to spend a relaxing fish search vacation. I can recommend you to do that. But today we will do another fish case, a disease case number 64 on an angelfish, which was originally coming from the Amazon as original fish, but this one has been tank raised and giving another problem that we don't always see with our eyes, that we have to use a microscope for that. So that's why I have to share my screen to show you what we detected in this case of the angelfish. And we found a bacterial infection. And we saw the first fish in the fish tank. We saw a few getting darker, hanging at the surface, swimming abnormal, respiratory problems, wasting away. And every day there was one dead or two dead. And you see this one was gonna die within a couple of hours. And maybe a few in the back, like here at the bottom there is one, but here on the one at the top. He will not last for long. So those fish are ideal to sacrifice and to find the problem so you can save all the other fish in the fish tank. So we took collected samples from the scales. Here we see it on the plate, and from the gills, and this is that we use for a microscopic observation. And already on the scales, we could detect a lot of bacteria. Here you see the black area, which are colonies of bacteria, and here you see it in the water, a lot of rod-shaped bacteria and a lot of pointed bacteria. So the skin was fully loaded with bacteria. Here we see it in more detail at 300 magnification, or could be 400 magnification. I'm not sure, it could be 400 here. Let me correct this. So we see a lot of rod-shaped and pointed bacteria, maybe 3-4 different kinds of bacteria. Usually it's not one bacteria type we find on bacterial infection. Usually there are 2 or 3 with one dominant. In the gills, we found necrotic tissue. You see the gills is completely rotten away here. Here, this part is completely gone. You see how badly this gill has been infected and caused by bacteria. And of course, can you imagine that the fish is hanging at the surface and gasping for air? We also took the internal organs and squeezed them between those 2 glass plates. And then we found that particularly the spleen had a lot of melanomacrophage centers. You can see it here. This is the erection of the organ, collecting a lot of macrophage coming together, giving that melanocolor, and they call it centers, and taking away healthy tissue. So the spleen was not properly working anymore. Half of it was gone and used to defend itself against the bacterial infection. Here on the video, you see part of the excrements and the fluid, body fluid, and we see a lot of bacteria in the water. And we also notice some flagellates. Here is one, here is one, here is one moving. There's one here. There's a few flagellates here, which is maybe typical. I don't know, could not say exactly here. It could have been hexameta. Spironucleus is a new name for it. There's only a very few. I didn't see many like we normally see in the Spironucleus infection, but I found it here on this part of the excrement. Here, I'll show it again. There's few parasites moving around here. And that can create a problem on an angelfish and on the intestine, on the gut. Like I showed you in other of my videos on Spironucleus. You certainly will find some in my cases. So what can we do as a treatment for this badly infected angelfish? Particularly the gills are a mess, are a terrible problem. Well, the fish will die from that, of course. And a very bad suffering fish, you should put to sleep. You can use Narcomore Plus for that. And internal was also a serious bacterial infection, and you should apply antibiotics. Ask your vet what you can do. There are several antibiotics available. Many of the common drugs cannot handle this like this fish. It's very difficult to treat with a drug. Sometimes people use Viromor from aquarium. It can help in the beginning stage. Yes, can help. Afterwards, we suggest to treat the internal flagellated parasites with a medication like metronidazole or a similar medicine which is available on the market. You can find some in the pet shop. Combine the medication with a good food. We recommend to use Dr. Bassleer Bicep Fuco or grapefruit seed extract moringa, particularly in the case of bacterial infections. And later on, to help to control the parasitic infections like Spironucleus, you can use our Bifidus food Lapacho, which helps to control of those internal parasites in the intestine. So this was a case of bacterial infection with a few parasites we found on angelfish. Like, again, bacterial infection. You would say, well, Gerald, you're again there with a fish with a bacterial infection. Well, yes, because it's the most common problems we find. And showing all those different cases, you getting aware. What can we find to the fish? How do the organs look like? What organs do we take to examine? And this would help you to define the problem and that you can take proper actions. Thank you for watching.